Welcome back, everyone. So I spent entire day skiing today. I'm in upstate New York. Took a couple of days off work. So now I'm back at the hotel and it is so beautiful here. It snowed a lot. So I'm gonna see if I can walk around the hotel and see if I can spot some of the beautiful environment that I'm surrounded by. And while we're here, I was thinking we should talk about why it's important to specify exact instructions for jobs. Now, when we try to communicate either instructions or verbally, we kind of assume that other people thinking what we're thinking, and they're usually not. So when you leave part of the instructions ambiguous or you use etc., all relevant or something like that, well, people will have different interpretation of it. Where are we? Hang on. Oh, yeah, so this, I believe this is like a golf course behind me during summer, obviously. All right, so the way I want to start, I mean, we kind of understand that you should specify instructions clearly, but let's get into a couple of stories where unclear instructions have led to some problems. All right, first story deals with redacted documents. And one of the things that we do, or everyone pretty much does, is redacts metadata fields for redacted documents. But no one really knows which metadata fields to redact. And so what happened is we received the production and project manager says, redact metadata fields for redacted documents. And so of course, EDD team goes to project managers and says, which fields? Which ones do you want to redact? And they go, just redact all of them. Like, what do you mean all? It's like, just leave backduck, endduck, and redact everything else. Okay, all right. And so that's what technical team did. They redacted all fields for redacted documents. And of course, what happens? We get a call from a client. Production's wrong, everything's wrong, the counts are wrong. How quickly can you fix this? This is all wrong. So project manager, what do they do immediately? They apologize. I'm sorry, this is wrong. We're gonna fix it as soon as possible. The project manager jumps in. Oh, how come this is wrong? They get technical people in and everyone's like panicking, like this is all wrong. How quickly can we fix it? You know, and I go in the conversation, I go, what exactly is wrong? And no one can explain what is wrong. Right? So then they're saying like, no, the load files don't match the that file, the counts are all off, this is complete mess, nothing's working. So I go in, I look at the volume, I look at different metadata fields, and then I figure out what happened. Client was trying to do sum by page count, but the page count field was redacted, right? That was blanked out. So the numbers, the counts they were getting when they were doing sum doesn't add up to number of images or number of lines in the OPT file. And that's why they were freaking out. There was nothing actually wrong with production. This clearly illustrates a point when you say all metadata fields. Well, you're going to get all metadata fields redacted. Don't assume somebody is going to think that, well, the page count shouldn't really be redacted, you know. When the person is following instructions, that's what they're going to do. And that's exactly what they did. So there was no way to blame technical team for this. This was, well, this was basically a miscommunication. We explained to a client and sent them a new DAT file and everything was fine. The next misunderstanding there usually deals with including extracted text and native path fields into a DAT file. And this one deals with fields again. So the situation usually comes up is when project manager specifies list of fields to include in a DAT file. And then the DAT file is exported exactly like project manager specified. And they say, well, how come you didn't add extracted text and native path to it? It's obvious that it should be included, right? And then the next time you do that and you automatically include those fields, they're going to say, whoa, why did you do that? The client specified only the fields they want. Go ahead and re-export. So I had so many arguments about those two fields that I had a conversation with project management team and I say, look, the field list you specify is going to be followed exactly No one's going to assume that extracted text has to be added if you do not put it on the field list. We may let you know that you forgot to include it, we may not, but the field list is going to be exact. So I think the takeaway here is be specific with your instructions. If you want someone to do something, tell them exactly what they need to know. You know, sometimes you get field lists saying like, oh, include all relevant fields. Like, what's a relevant field, right? Same thing with extracted text and native path, specify how many redacted documents you have. If you want to export all the documents from a workspace, don't just say all documents from workspace. It's always a bad idea. Make a saved search, specify saved search, and say how many documents are there. Like, there could be a situation when documents are locked in a staging folder or folder with different permissions, and what's visible to a client, they say produce all documents, right? Well, they think these are all the documents that are visible to them, but when a project manager goes in, they'll see different document count because they have different permissions and they have access to different folders. So those are the things to avoid. Don't say all relevant, all documents. Be very, very specific as to what you want done, how many documents there are, and so on. Anyway, agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments section below. If you have a fun story about miscommunication that led to interesting discussion, please share that with me too. All right, don't forget to follow on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and I'll see you guys next time.